Hey guys, my name is Zinjy, and today we're going to do something slightly different than what we usually do. Today we are going to take a look at the Bastion remnants, or I should say a particular feature that's been added to the Bastion remnants. So if we just pop down to the bottom here, this is what we're going to have a wee look at today. For anyone who's not seen the Bastion remnants added in the newest snapshots, this is a Magma Cube spawner. It's the first Magma Cube spawner of its kind. Oh, you can see one spawn in there, and it's the first spawner that's been added in quite some time. So today we're going to look at building a farm based around this spawner. Welcome to Tutorial Land. This is our Magma Cube spawner chamber right here, what I was talking about. Now, I haven't built this actually in the Bastion remnants, just I built it in my tutorial world, so we could see better on what we're actually building, just for tutorial purposes. Obviously it will work in the Bastion remnants. Right, if we pop in here we can have a little look on what is inside. So if I head up to the top, I'll pop a wee hole and in I go. So this is the finished farm itself. Don't worry, I will go through everything you need to build this farm, and I will also go through different stages and how to build this farm. This is it, basically. So the premise is that you spawn an iron golem in the back there, and when the farm is active, it will spawn magma cubes, which then fall down, see the iron golem, get attracted to the iron golem, and bounce onto the honey. Now, when the magma cubes are on the honey blocks, they can't jump any higher than 2 blocks. Yes, I know you're going to say, yes, they can get out of this chamber. Yeah, but it doesn't really make a difference here because they can see the golem regardless. So what they do is they then jump towards the golem and they take damage on the cacti, and they will end up killing themselves. We have a hopper system underneath. It just picks the items up and it goes towards the chest. Nice and simple. I have this little post here just to pop anything off that would, if the cactus would grow. So you could either use this fence post here, or you could use the string, which you can just kind of see I've attached to the top. And that just prevents cactus from popping off and keeps them stationary. And magma cubes can jump on the top of the string without breaking it as well. So if we pop up, I can show you how to build this farm. So we'll do this in stages. There's 4 stages, and I'm just going to go through it for anyone who's sort of new to the game or just not sure on how to build farms. So if you're an advanced builder, you could probably just go ahead and build this right now. For anyone who's not and would like to go through the whole process of how it's built, I'm going to go through everything for you. So if we just come across this chest here, this is the total amount of items required for the entirety of the farm if you're building it from scratch. Blocks, hoppers, you name it, it's in this chest, and there you go for reference. I won't hover it too long. If you want to take a screenshot or pause the video, go for it, and that just gives you everything you need to know, including the iron golem amount as well. Right, let's move on. So if we pop to section 1, you will see this. It's the easy part, it's just the collection system. So as you can see, it's just a bunch of hoppers pointing at a chest. There's not much more than that it really needs to be said or done. It's quite easy, quite simple, and for reference, there is the amount of hoppers that you will need for this part of the farm. Cool, and we'll move on to part 2. So for anyone who doesn't know what a hopper is, it essentially, when an item gets dropped, the hopper picks the item up and it transfers. You can chain your hoppers just to connect them all. See how they're all pointing at each other? And so I've got all these pointing, going into this part here. It points into the chest, and then items coming into this chest. So see if you want to pick them all up. If we head across to part 2, this is what I've called the killing floor. So this is the part where the magma cubes will obviously end up dying. As you can see, I've not put string on top of these, so these have grown, but that's fine. And for this part, as I say, all we have, when I explained when we're in the chamber, is we have honey blocks on top, and this stops them from jumping very high. The iron golem obviously sits back here. They can see the iron golem and they just run into the cactus and kill themselves on the cactus. And then once they die, their regular magma creams drop on the ground, and the hoppers pick them up through the honey blocks. For this part of the farm, that is all you're going to need. And I'll move on. Cool. Now, part 3. Part 3, the only difference with this is the iron golem chamber I've added on for this part. So if we pop up here, I've not got an iron golem in there just now, but you kind of get the gist. The iron golem sits in here, just like showed over there. And then I say the magma cubes pop down and go into the cacti and die on the cacti because they can see the iron golem, and then hoppers just pick up the items. For anyone for any reason that doesn't know how to build an iron golem, I will quickly run you through it. It's literally 4 iron blocks in the shape of a T and a carved pumpkin head on top. That's it. Not much more to it. So if you want to see how many items we have for that part, there you go. That's your iron golem chamber there. You can pause the video if you want, and we'll move on to the last part. So the last part is the finished farm itself. All I've essentially added on here is this is the iron golem chamber here, and this is the actual farm. So the box essentially where the magma cubes will end up spawning. If we just pop in here, it's exactly the same as the one at the end, apart from obviously the spawners here, and we now have the entirety of the farm built. Yeah, and that's it. There's not much more to it. It's just the space that they're going to spawn in. They'll see that. They'll see the iron golem pop along, drop on the honey blocks, won't be able to jump as high, and they'll kill themselves on the cacti. And that's it. That's in its entirety. If I pop back out, I can get to the chest, and you can see how many items you'll need for this part. And that is it. That is all you need for the killing chamber, the spawning chamber itself. Let you pause that. And that's it. And that is one of the ways that you can have a magma cube farm in the new Bastion Remnants. I do have another way, and I'm going to show you that right now. Since I totally forgot to say, this is the farm running, just in case you want to see it. So there's the iron golem just in the back, and there's the magma cubes being attracted to the iron golem, and then them killing themselves on the cacti. Easy peasy. Now, the second way you can build this farm is very similar, but also very different. I would say this is probably the more advanced way, due to that I'm required to be able to kill the magma cubes. If we pop in here, this says total amount of items required for the actual farm itself. So it's essentially the same. You probably have noticed the minecart up above, so it adds in the minecart and the rails. And this is our killing mechanism right here, the wither rose. That I will explain later once we get to the end of the farm. So if we just pop it here, this is the farm in its entirety, just to give you a little description, but let's go through and build it together. I would like to say my farms are all 9 by 9, so it will be like 11 blocks along, but the wall will be like each block each side, but inside it's 9 by 9. By 9, so it's 9 by 9 by 9 inside. It's just about it's just the way I make my farms. Just gives enough spawning spaces for the actual magma or whatever you've got in your chambers. So just in case you wonder what the measurement was of the actual chamber itself, it's 9 by 9 by 9. Right. Anyway, part 1 of this is I like to call the foundation, which is the very bottom part of the farm. Underneath this is essentially what you'll need to get it. So you're gonna need a few blocks, and a few blocks. You don't have to use redstone blocks. You could use redstone torches, but I just like to use the blocks because it's a bit easier for building purposes. And yeah, there's really not much more to it. As I say, it's 9 by 9, and that's it. As long as you've got the strip of redstone going down the middle, you'll be able to then power your rails quite a lot when you're going around the farm. So that's quite good. But yeah, not much more to it. As I say, that's it there. Take a screenshot, pause the video, and we'll move on to part 2. Part 2 is, as you imagine, just adding the rails on top. So as I say, we've got the power rail going down the middle. The redstone blocks going in the middle, the power rail on top. And it's just for anyone who's played Minecraft for a while, or is good at building, or has built farms in the past, this will be no surprise to you. It's quite an easy design, quite an easy method. For anyone who's never seen it before, or is not accustomed to building farms, or is new to Minecraft, this is what we call a hopper minecart pickup. So over there we use the hoppers underneath. Here we have a hopper minecart, as you can see, running along underneath. It just runs on the power rails. It has a hopper inside the actual minecart itself, and it picks items up through the floor. This is the other way you can sort of pick items up if you're not wanting to use just like loads and loads of hoppers. It's very basic. Now, as long as you must have this block at the end, or some sort of wall at the end, so when the hopper runs along, it will hit the block, and then because the rail is still powered, it will then just come back again. And for this part, I'll show you what I need. This is what you need for this. And pause the video, whatever, and let's move on to part 3. Part 3, I have built the hopper minecart unloading station. for anyone who watches my Let's Play series, I built one of these quite recently in my melon and pumpkin farm, but for anyone who's not seen it, this is the design here. Again, very basic, very simple. It just uses a hopper, so you can see the minecart goes up. Now if it has any items in it, this power rail here will unpower, letting the minecart then filter its items through the hopper into the chest. And you need a comparator, redstone torch, and a repeater, and that's exactly the layout you need to be able to build it there. For items here, that's what you'll need. Cool, and all of that is all added on. It's just a little bit here. You mean you can make this longer or shorter, whatever you want. I just made it this just for purposes of the tutorial video. Right, cool. So that is part 3. Let's move on to part 4. Part 4 I've called the killing platform. So essentially I've just added this layer on top. And it's the exact same as the previous step, but just this floor has been added in with the dirt and the brick going round. For the amount of items you'll need on this part, that's what you're going to need. And as I say, it's a 9 by 9. It will, if you count it across, it will be 11 by 11, but that's just because the walls are added in. You don't necessarily have to add in the corner walls or that. I've just done it just in case people were wanting to do that or whatever. That's totally up to you. You don't have to add these very corner parts in because that doesn't really count. But yep, that's just with the walls in, and the dirt isn't exactly 9 by 9. And this is what we're going to use to plant the wither roses on top, just so that obviously the mobs are able to then be killed. Part 5 is the frame of it. Just for anyone who was unsure, as this is quite a basic step, this is just the frame of the farm itself, so it's 9 by 9. And if we pop down, this is the blocks that you'll need. Won't donder too long on this one because nothing real changed from the last one. And the last part is the killing chamber complete. So this is the spawning chamber and everything is finished. And as you can see, the root minecart run underneath. We've got the picker up system. Bunch of mobs just spawned in. Hello guys. If I pop up to the top, I can show you exactly how this farm works differently from this one. So if we just sort of hack in here, you'll see we have wither roses. Now this is probably more an advanced or later game item to collect because you do need to build a wither farm, but as you can see the magma cubes spawn in, and the wither rose essentially just kills them off because the withering effect that the roses give off. So it's a very nice and efficient way to kill mobs. I mean, you don't have to necessarily use just a mana, you can use this for any mob farm, the wither roses. And I'm fairly sure if you're holding a looting 3 sword, you'll gain more loot. As you can see, the magma cubes just getting picked up there, that'd be the minecart going underneath and picking the items up. Now there's a bit of gunpowder over there that should get picked up as well. For some reason it's not, that's fine. I'd say if you're building this in the Bash remnants, you won't have to worry about, because I've built this in a tutorial world and it's just a basic world. Obviously I've got all these other mobs spawning in as well, so if I check in here I'll probably have, yes, it makes a pretty efficient mob farm for it running, but yeah, I've got all these other things spawning, but you won't get this in the Bastion remains, just as you're building in the nether, so it'll just be the basic magma cubes you're focused on. Rates this farm, I've not calculated full on, but they're not like, if you're expecting to get like, you know, 1,000 magma cream an hour, then yeah, this maybe not for you. I'm not sure if you can even get those rates an hour when it comes to magma cubes. I've experienced like maybe 20 minutes, 10-20 minutes, and I got 20 magma cubes. But to be fair, you're probably not going to need that many magma cream anyway. Yeah, I mean, realistically, yes, it's great. The magma creams are used for fire potions, and that's what we're essentially going to be building this farm for. But if you're looking for massive rates, it's probably not going to be for you. But yeah, that is 2 basic, well, basic and maybe more advanced, if you want to say, with the wither roses ways of doing it. It's probably more easier to build this one. But yeah, that's 2 ways of being able to build a magma cube farm in the new Bastion remnants. Well, guys, I hope if you have liked this video and it has helped you in some way, somehow, some method, then please give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.